Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the 99 Club here at Bashor Children's Home. The 99 Club podcast, giving voice to the most vulnerable children and the experts to help them. We're celebrating 99 years of helping children here and their families, and we've created the Bashor Children's Home 99 Club, searching for 99 people to give $99. And if you are one of them, well, you get one of these exclusive 99 Club t-shirts, and you help neglected children in our community. Be one of the cool kids. Get one of these t-shirts. Make it look better than I make it look, will you? And you can join us at bashor.org and click donate to get the party started. We want to toss out some thank yous to Obico Incorporated, a Christian-owned and operated company dedicated to providing organizational solutions for everyday recreational lifestyles and organizations. And thanks to New Way Construction, where they promise to honor God through their words and their actions, to do things right and do the right thing, and engage and support our local community. Two of our underwriting sponsors for the 99 Club broadcasts. Well, it's a treat tonight. You know, we've had Steve Ross to look into the past, and Steve told some wonderful stories about the history of Bashor Children's Home and how far we've come and how far we still have an opportunity to go. Steve Raikkonen talked about the present and kind of introduced where we are, both in the community and with local churches and with individual organizations. And now we're going to peer a little bit into the future. We'll tell some stories about today. We'll get to know Sean a little bit. But one of the things we want to do is peer into the future as well, about Bashor Children's Home and where God is going to take this organization, where the community is going to propel this organization, because, Sean, it really has always been all about answering community needs. And that's been terrific. So let's first of all wheel back a little bit and talk about Sean McCrindle. You're a Goshen product, and you're you know, in your household, you, of course, the late Marty McCrindle, probably one of the most impactful firefighters we've ever had. And it was one of those things where you grew up, everybody knew Marty, so they were watching you.
Right.
And
I couldn't get away.
Worry about that. And then your father-in-law is Mel Shetler, and he's the founding pastor of Maple City Chapel.
Correct.
One of those churches that has really had an impact on Goshen. So in your veins is community service.
Absolutely. Goshen's, you know, one of those places. As I was growing up, you when you grow up in Goshen, you undervalue it. In Elkhart County, I would say as well. And while I was growing up, I always thought, I'm not going to stick around this place. You know, I'm going to college. I'm gone. And then fortunately, God put in front of me a woman so far out of my league that I was going to chase her wherever she went. And guess where she went? Back to Goshen. And in that story of being connected to Goshen, if there's one thing I did know early on but didn't realize, is how tightly this community in the whole Elkhart County community cares about kids and really wants to help kids. And that brought me at the ripe old age of 21 to Bashor Children's Home.
And there you go. And from 21 years old till now, you've quite literally climbed the ladder from being a youth care worker, involver, social worker, running the program, and now to running the organization, or help running the organization as the CEO, filling some rather large shoes.
That's right.
Both you and I had the opportunity to grow up under Don Phillips, and what a great privilege that was.
Yes, it was.
Most days.
Yes. Yes. Well, he was good enough to be hard on you. The great thing about the story of filling large shoes is John Worry, who's our board chair. When I came in, he gave me a huge pair of shoes. I mean, 24s maybe. Told me good luck filling these things. And he gave me some other things that I won't mention here, that just to remind me of Don. But I let John know right away, hey, my shoes fit perfectly inside those shoes. I just filled them. What's next?
There you go. And that is part of what we're going to talk about today. What next? I do have to make a slight confession here. I had to fight over these last 3 weeks, as I prepared for tonight, the temptation to exact maybe a little bit of revenge, because I can tell you that one of the more frightening experiences I've ever had allegedly was caused by you.
I'm sure it wasn't.
We were out on the ropes course, and your partner in crime at the time was one Michael Gardy. And I was on the Pamper Pole. The Pamper Pole being what? Is it exaggerating to say it's 30 feet up in the air?
No, not at all.
And the idea is that you jump off the pole and you whack this little Voight-like volleyball or tether ball. And then the person who is belaying you is supposed to make sure that you gently, after jumping, just come back down to earth. Well, I went through the whole process. We're all gathered around as a staff. You remember this?
I do remember this. Yes.
Okay, so that's almost a confession in your smile. So I leap off the Pamper Pole and go to swat the ball. And the next thing I know, I'm doing this free fall. And I get about halfway down before I finally feel any kind of attention. So I might have uttered a word or two or three, and I got down onto the ground, and I went running over to Gardy, and Gardy's got this grin, and all he's doing is pointing and going, "It was McCrindle's idea."
Just like Gardy to pass it on, you know. And the important thing, Vince, is that's exactly why they call it the Pamper Pole, because you should be wearing a diaper when you go on it.
Well, and it was kind of it was one of those moments where I felt complimented because that was my reputation, but felt a little bit embarrassed because I had kind of soiled that reputation because one of our kindest, gentlest youth care workers came up and just kind of is standing in front of me and just went, "Mr. Turner, I didn't know you knew that word." But that was the reminder for me, other than trying to figure out a way to exact revenge. But then I thought, well, you'll just get me back anyway, so we'll end it here. The reminder for me was part of what happens out here. You know, we do put, necessarily so, we put an awful lot of emphasis on the kids and the families that we serve. But the camaraderie that builds among the staff is just something that is very, very hard to describe. What brings that? What do you think makes that a circle?
Well, I can actually speak from my experience a long time ago and know that it's true today. I was literally having new staff orientation today and talking with 6 new people who are coming into the agency, excited about what they're doing. And in those conversations, I said to them, "You're about to do the hardest job you've probably ever done, I would imagine. And nothing you've ever done will reward you nearly as much. And I want you guys to know I'm behind you 100%. I believe in what you're doing, and what you do for kids makes a difference, not just for them, but for their kids in the future." And as I was talking to him about it, I said, "But here's the thing I had to get over." And I was told from people is, "Well, I want all you guys to like me a whole lot. It just doesn't matter that much, because the people who are standing beside you and around you will be the people who are the most important to you. You guys will go through the trenches together. You will cry about kids' situations that are horrific. You will cry about each other's situations that are difficult, and you'll find a way to heal kids no matter how you feel. And going through that will draw you guys together in a way that you can't in most other work environments. And at some point it becomes not work anymore, but it becomes your mission."
Well, and I can speak from personal experience. You can leave here, but you never really leave here. I mean, your heart stays here.
Right.
The mission stays here. Sean, when you came as a youngster, what are some of the stories that you can share from the early days that helped you understand, yeah, I'm in the right place, and has kept you here since?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a story of a young man that impacted my life and mission in this in a way that's I actually can't even fully describe. Very difficult kid. I kept trying to connect with him. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. He's very inner city, very hardcore. And the more I tried, the more he scared me, to be honest with you. Okay. And I was 21 years old, and I was pretty physically fit. This kid was a beefy kid and liked to scare people. And I decided the more he's going to scare me, the more I'm going to try to just keep coming back. Over time, he said, "Why do you keep trying to talk to me?" And I said, "You got something to teach me." That's all I really could think of saying, rather than like, "Because you scare me, and maybe if we're friends, you won't punch me in the face," which was also somewhat true. And he said, "You don't know me." Long story short is I asked him about a song. He told me to go listen to the song "Me Against the World" by a guy named Tupac, which was not in my playlist at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I went out and bought the CD. I listened to the song, and it devastated me listening to the song because I felt like it made sense. Came back and I told him I got the CD. He told me I was lying. I tried to rap some of the things, then just said the words. And he said, "You did get it." And he finally said, "You know why it's me against the world?" He said, when my mom and I were getting kicked out of our third apartment in 2 months, and I had everything we owned at 7 years old in a grocery cart, and I'm pushing it down the sidewalk, and people in the neighborhood came out and they're laughing at me and called me a crack kid. I decided at that point it was me against the world, and he utterly changed the way I looked at everything. And I realized how little understanding I had and how much kids had to teach me. And every day since then, I have heard stories that staff are involved with kids. I get to talk to kids, and I can't say there's a single time I walk away where I don't have a new understanding of things and haven't learned something from them.
That's a terrific line of understanding what kids have to teach you. It's one of those things that whether you're a donor, whether you're a staff member, a board member, a visitor, on the prayer list at the churches or whatever, these young people have such an opportunity to share their story in a way that they really teach you about life, about what community is about your faith.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of times, one of the things that we say is we have to be worth the contract, which sounds like this really official term, and in a lot of ways it is. And when we talk about that, we realize we have to be worth the contract everywhere we go. So we may be getting paid from the state. We have to do good work there. We may have other people who are involved, like donors, and we have to ensure that as they're reaching their pocket and giving us money, that is a deep commitment. They don't have to do that. So we have to make sure there's a good relationship and good partnership there, but also we have to make sure that we're very much worth the contract to that kid and that family every time individually. And what that looks like is them knowing that we're going to lay it all out for them. We may not do everything perfectly. When we don't, we'll apologize. We have to be very transparent, but we have to be the people who have enough hope for them and belief in their lives that they can start to risk it themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're talking with Sean McCrindle. He is the CEO here at Bashor Children's Home. And reminder that you're listening to the 99 Club podcast here from Bashor Children's Home. You have an opportunity to be a part of the 99 Club. We're celebrating 99 years of service to children and families and to the workers who serve those children and families as well. With the 99 Club, you have an opportunity to donate $99. We're trying to raise that before the end of the podcast season. And you're going to get a special t-shirt, 99 of them printed, and we'll pass them out. Go to bashor.org and click donate. Sean, I want to talk a little bit as we look to the future. We connect that a little bit with the recent. You bet. Yeah.
All right. So on the 99 Club, I feel like I need to jump in because as the time's going, I need to do this. So I'm so appreciative of people who are jumping in on the 99 Club. And in that I went, okay, I got to get some skin in this game. So I just want to say that any of the 99 Club shirts that we give away that people invest tonight, I'm going to match $99 for every $99 that's put in.
For tonight?
For tonight.
Oh, you heard that. Sean will match the 99. So click, get a shirt, get a personal donation from Sean McCrindle, the CEO. That's good stuff. That's good. You know how to play this game. This is good.
You know what? If you got to put skin in the game,
there
you
go.
In it.
I like that idea. I like it a lot. So let's talk about how the need dictates the future, and where we're going. And I can think of there have been others that have been added, but I can think of three things in particular that have come along toward the end of my tenure here, when Martin Cottage became the substance abuse program. Then shortly after that, you became a beacon for potential runaways or for homeless kids, and that was really driven well, so that you used what we called Poiser Cottage out on Bashor Road. And then most recently, a brand new building that the community stepped forward and created in order to help people who have escaped from white slavery, if you will, or sexual abuse and the sex slave trade. Three programs that John and Emmeline Bashor probably never would have thought, these are going to be needed. But 3 programs that have responded to community need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I sit here and go, okay, we're about to enter our 100th year. And just like John and Emmeline, what is it that I will be utterly amazed someday that we're doing? And I think for them, they basically said, okay, God's giving something to us to put on our heart and respond to. And that's the same thing we have today. That's the same thing we'll have 100 years from now. If we're in the right place, if we're paying attention to where our mission should go, we should expect to be amazed at what positions God puts us in to serve the kids that he loves so much.
Mm-hmm. I'll put your memory on the spot a little bit here. Martin Cottage, the substance abuse program, you were the original director of that program. What impactful story can you share there about, what convinced you, hey, we're doing the right thing?
Yeah, this story gets me. Hopefully I can stay non-choked up. But while we were in the substance abuse program, we started saying things like, what crazy experiences can we give these kids, because they've had crazy experiences. We have to give them experiences that are crazy, that are good. And so in our infinite wisdom, we decided that we were going to pack up kids, go to the middle of the Manistee National Forest,
Lord, I remember this
camp for a week. And I will tell you what, like every time you were in the middle of that, you were going, I'm never doing this again. 2 days after it was done, you're like, can we take more kids next year? Yeah. And fast forward several years, I get a phone call in my office. And just like all the phone calls from kids that had gone a long time ago, they don't tell you who they are. They just start talking. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, hey, who is this? And so the guy's like, I'm Tim. And I knew immediately, like, this is the guy, this guy stuck out. He was a fireball. I mean, he definitely was a fireball. And so he asked me, he goes, hey, can you tell me where we went camping? And I'm like, yeah, in Manistee, I can give you the stuff and all that. And I'm like, why? And he said, my sons are old enough to go camping for the first time. And I want to take them to a place. I want to take him and show him the place I met God. Now, the thing about Tim was we never knew where he stood. And the fact that he was doing that, and for me, the fact that he was doing that, a guy who just didn't have good guys in his life, I sat there and Tim went through struggles, I know, even after our program, but on that day, he's taken 2 kids camping and being a good dad because he learned how to be a good man. And some of that we're very proud to be on the right on. We don't take credit for the kids' stuff. They got to decide themselves. We just want to be a part of their lives and give them experiences that make them see there's another way I can do this and be proud of it.
It's that old adage, where we're commanded in scripture to be fishers of men. And, so many times we want to do the cooking and cleaning and God goes, no. I just asked you to be the fishers of men. You did the fishing so many years ago and God took care of the cooking and cleaning in his own time. What a great line. I want to take my sons where I met God. That's amazing. Yeah. I'll give you a chance to recover a little bit here, just to do a little bit of thank you to the Obico Corporation, or Obico Incorporated. It's a Christian-owned and operated company dedicated to providing organizational solutions for everyday recreational lifestyles and organization. You can visit Organized OB website for answers to an array of unique organizational products for the RV, marine, heavy truck, emergency, military, and cargo trailer industry. Also, our thanks to New Way Construction, where they promise to honor God through their words and their actions, do things right and do the right thing, and engage and support our local community. New Way Construction, where they've completed more than 1,500 projects, successful industrial and commercial projects since 1975. 2 underwriters for us on the Bashor 99 Club podcast. And don't forget the Sean commitment. He's going to match your $99 when you join the 99 Club here at Bashor Children's Home, and get yourself a real cool t-shirt that, if it looks good on me, man, it's going to look good on anybody. So, Sean, where does the future take us, or do we know?
We know the direction. The great thing is, through the last, couple of years of the pandemic, and I love our board chair had put in our annual report. The last year feels like 12 months and 500 years. The greatest thing is we got an opportunity again to relearn the lessons we need to keep learning here, and that is our mission doesn't change because of circumstances. And so God says to us, these are my kids, help them. During the pandemic, there was an opportunity to say, hey, we really need to probably shut down kids coming in and things like that. And our staff had a discussion, or our management had a discussion, our board had a discussion, and the decision was nothing's changed in our mission, vision, or values. We're going to serve kids, find a way to do it. And they stepped up. And that will be the same thing in the future. We know this as we're looking forward. I can't say exactly what will be happening in 100 years, but I can say the things we do today will impact how those things can happen 100 years from now. And we have a huge responsibility for that. We know that we have to target our growth, but also be open to wherever God wants us to grow. And if there's one thing I've learned in the last several years, when momentum's happening, you're rarely asked by God to just slow down. It's usually, I'm going to give you more, you have to do more. And if you step in the right direction, more comes. And so as we're looking at the future with kids, residential, we're really good at residential. We want to always be better at residential. We also want to do everything we can to keep kids from needing residential. Our growth in our community-based services is a huge target for us. And the idea that is we got lots of families who are hurting in our community. We need to do more for them. We also know for our kids, we have to give them something more to go towards, that they have enough in their lives that they don't want to lose it by doing something stupid. And so we have to be able to improve their socioeconomic status, make them ready for jobs in this community. We got a community of great jobs. We have kids who need to be prepared for it. Not every kid's going to college. They need to know how to do the trades and do them well, so that our companies around here want to hire them and get good quality employees. And that will help those kids have things like their own home, transportation, medical. Their lives will get better. Then they'll have enough that they say, I don't want to lose this. And so going forward, that's a major focus. And then also putting things in place where we don't have to respond to changes in governmental factors or other things, that we can stably make decisions and grow wherever kids and families need us.
And part of that future, I think, too, is, maybe he doesn't want the blame for it, even though I'm trying to give him credit for it. When you look at where I've been after being with Don Phillips, where you are after being with Don Phillips, and what I think Don's biggest impact on Elkhart County was during his tenure here at Bashor Children's Home, is he was really a pioneer for collaboration. He came from New York and looked around and said, what, you guys are all on different turf? This will never do. Let's come back together. And Don and Bashor, and now you, have become leaders in that collaboration front. And it appears from everything you've talked about, that's going to be an important thing going forward.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the reality of this is it is really, I won't use the word stupid. Oh, I guess I just did. It's really stupid for us to try to duplicate services in our community when we can come alongside other places and support what they're doing so that they can do it the best they can. We do the portions that we can do the best we can, because there's limited resources, and we have such great support in this community. I mean, I wish all communities had business owners and individuals and churches who would support the way ours does. But that means that we have a responsibility not to waste those funds. So collaboration's key. If we tried to do everything, that would be a mistake, because our community would get weaker. By us really relentlessly partnering with other agencies and businesses and churches, we can create a much better safety net without wasting resources.
Well, and and I've always believed from my time here, philanthropy does not divide. No. It multiplies. Right. During my time here, I had yet to have anyone say, oh, well, yeah, we're going to take it away from this agency and we're going to give it to you guys. And Pat and Vince Turner have never said, we're going to stop giving to this organization and we're going to give to that organization instead. Instead, we just find a way to give more. And the people who donated to the Children's Home during my tenure here also found just a way to get more involved involved and to give more. Sean, your family legacy speaks for itself. What your mom and dad, what your mother and father-in-law have done is amazing. For you to have a seat at that Thanksgiving table and to be able to talk about what happens here at Bashor Children's Home, that also has to be pretty satisfying.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that definitely is easy for me to say when I'm at that table because my family raised me is, I'm not the end all be all, and I'm not the greatest thing, and I make a lot of mistakes. They all know that. But here's the great thing.
At Thanksgiving, they probably go down the list,
right,
don't
yeah,
they?
They're thankful that I'm admitting it finally, usually. But here's the thing about it. I really appreciate the opportunity to be in the position in the chair that I'm in. I know that we're only good because of the people who are doing the work here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an agency that I said this to our board. This is an agency with great depth. It's not about one person in one position. In fact, quite frankly, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, maybe I shouldn't admit this, but if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, this agency would cruise. We have people who live this mission personally, and they are driving things forward. And as I'm casting vision, they're usually running just as fast. And so as I'm talking to my family, they all want to be proud of me and all that. But I say, look, I'd like to take a lot more credit, but I just can't. I am in the best agency with the best board, with the best staff and the best opportunity and God behind us. I'd have to be an idiot to be able to screw this up.
Well, in my own tenure, I became a board member under Ray Stahl. I was hired under Rich Nelson. I grew exponentially under Don Phillips, and I'm proud that you and I worked a lot of times together, even watching Sheriff Jason Sunday chase geese around the pond, which is another one of my favorite memories. I know it's an inside joke, folk, but we had to throw that in one way. Sean, proud of what you've done, what you and your family have done, proud of what you've become, and best of luck as you continue on as CEO of the agency.
Thank you for being one of my great teachers.
It's terrific. Well, I'm proud that you're my friend. Really proud that you're my friend. You're listening or have been listening to the Bashor Children's Home 99 Club podcast, giving voice to the most vulnerable children and the experts who help them. We want to get one more plug in for the 99 Club, mainly because it's one more chance to get deeper into this guy's pocket and get a double dose of 99, the one you give and the one he gives. So go to bashor.org, click donate. We'll get you the t-shirt and we'll give you a little bit of applause as well. Thanks for joining in. Good night, everyone.